the actual story took place in 1970. So let me kind of give you the backdrop. We're in the middle of the Vietnam War, right? We're in the middle of the Vietnam War. There's a heroin epidemic at this time all throughout the country, especially up and down the eastern seaboard, going all the way down from New York, Miami. It's a real bad drug epidemic. Guys are coming home from the Vietnam War strung out. There's guys making a lot of black guys making a lot of money, right? So this is kind of like the backdrop of it. So there's hustlers at this period, a lot of high-end guys from Detroit to all black major cities. And Atlanta, which is then and still is now, was a hub for a lot of things. So people would come to Atlanta to celebrate different things, and a lot of guys would come here and do business, then branch out to their different markets or whatever. So at this time, Muhammad Ali has been able to fight because he was banned. He did not do the draft for the Vietnam War. He dodged the draft. He refused to do it. So they stripped his boxing license away from him. So it was a couple years. He couldn't fight. He was actually thrown in jail. A lot of people don't know that. So he comes out and he's able to fight, but he has to get a state that allow him to fight, because you have to get licensed in each state if you're going to fight in that state. So Atlanta, Georgia was the only state that let Muhammad Ali box. It was a black guy that actually ushered in that. I forget the gentleman's name, but he was the guy that brought Ali here. And it was a white guy that he fought. I forget that gentleman's name as well. So the fight takes place in Atlanta, Georgia, right? It's his first time. You know, people are super excited to see Muhammad Ali. Now, you got to keep in mind, in this era, you know, Madison Square Garden, maybe Atlantic City, I think New Orleans at one point, a lot of spots where they were gambling, that's where they would hold these big major bouts at, right? So Ali's coming back, and mind you, the hustlers from that time, the street guys, this was their time to show off the jewelry, cars, women, furs, etc. This was it. This was the highlight of it. You know, you would come in from out of town, plane, train, automobile, and you know, you show off. You want to sit in the front row. There's a famous picture of Frank Lucas and some guys out of Detroit with their furs on, so on and so forth. This was a big deal, you know, for the urban culture at the time, right? To show off your jewelry and things of that nature. So Ali's fighting. There is, mind you, in Atlanta, there's no casino. So where are you going to go after the fight, right? So what wound up happening is there was a guy, if I'm not mistaken, from East Point, Atlanta, that wind up having, a street guy, that wind up having something, or he was associated with the streets, but he had a casino night at his home in East Point, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, the word was to go there. Now, this is all the hustlers of hustlers. These guys are $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in their pocket. Now, mind you, this is 1970, so you can imagine what that money was then. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever seen the movie Uptown Saturday Night, but it's that vibe in Zenobia's, in the basement of Zenobia's. That's the energy of the room. And from what I understand, that scene was based on this particular part of the movie. So the premise is these guys go there to gamble, to have a good time, spend their cash, and that's what hustlers did. That was like their recreation, hustlers just like to gamble. When it happens is they go to the after party, everybody's having a good, great time, and the party gets stuck up by some hoodlums, some other street guys. Now, I'm not sure if they were actually based in Atlanta, made everyone strip, take up all their clothes, rob them of all their furs, jewels, all the stuff that they came with, cash. Some say it was past $1 million worth of stuff. And back then, $1 million was probably like 20 million now. So you can imagine. What soon after that was a lot of the hustlers would send the word out that they had money on whoever could find whoever did it. A lot of bodies started popping up after the fact. You know, I know there was a guy, I think his real street name was a guy named Chicken Man. He was involved in this whole scenario. You know, he was a street guy, from what I understand, because I haven't seen the movie, but I know this was part of the true story on which this was based on. So that's kind of the premise of the movie. I think it's interesting. Remember, Uptown Saturday Night, maybe mid-70s, they took an incident or a part of the incident from the movie and put it in their movie. This was something that really, really happened. So it's art imitating life.